I wanted to stab something, but in order to do that I had to change out the needles in the pen tool. That's the pink thing. All the needles in there were bent, and they were working okay, but it was just a matter of time before they break, and I didn't want one getting stuck in something, because I've lost needles in projects before. I didn't want to lose the point inside the pumpkin, which is what I was going to be stabbing. So I changed out I finally got the needles out and tried to change out the needles in the pen tool. The reason I'm doing a voiceover for this is because in the original video I said it wrong. With felting needles, the higher the number, the finer, the smaller the needle. A 38 is higher than, is a bigger needle than a 42. A 38 is for construction and attaching, anchoring. It moves more wool. It leaves a bigger hole. A 42 is basically used for finishing work. It leaves a smaller hole on the surface of the felted piece, so it's used if you want something smooth. You do a lot of stabbing with a 42 needle. I usually use, in the pen tool, I use 3 42s because together they work very well. I like the way they work. But I didn't have any 42s with no color on them. The ones with color on them are too big. They don't fit in the pen tool. So after sorting through the needles, I eventually ended up loading, I think it was 36s, 336s, and that didn't work. So I jerry-rigged a pen tool, which we'll get to in just a few minutes. Because I'm just going to be sitting here sorting through the needles for a little bit. I don't know. I'll probably end up cutting this. I get needles from, most of these you're seeing are living felt needles, and I like the living felt needles. I have, unfortunately I have a lot of them, but not the ones I need. But I also have gotten needles from Heidi Feathers and also from Serafina, so they're all pretty much the same. I don't necessarily favor one over the other. It mostly depends on what's on sale or who has the lowest price at the time. But I generally go to either Serafina or, mostly lately it's been living felt. It's easier, you know. So I'm gonna mess with needles for a little bit. I should be about done. I don't know if I'm going to use all of this footage. We'll see. I should be about done. I may be clicking back into it in a minute. I'm going to watch it and see. And yes, you are hearing cows and chickens in the background. Probably birds. There may be some cats. The dogs will probably bark at some point in time. There are animals around me. You will hear them. It looks like it might be 36 or 38. Okay. I also get some needles from Serafina. And I've gotten needles from Heidi Feathers and a couple of other places. Right now, it just depends on what I have. And I'm not sure what these are. Serafina doesn't color code their needles. So if you like their needles, you have to figure out some way on your own to keep them track of what they are. I am not sure what these are. So we're gonna, I think these are heavier needles. I think these are like 40 twists. Or 38 stars. Because I usually tend to use the smaller needles first. Looks like we're going to end up putting in 38 triangle. But since I use the pen tool mostly for bigger areas, it shouldn't make a difference. So that was my stash of needles. That's what I have right now. We're gonna have to order some more 32 or 40 plain. Star. Oop, didn't get it in. Didn't get it twisted. That's in the groove. Okay. There we go. They're all in. Biscuits. And we're good to go. They should be straight. Okay. We got the needle all loaded and ready to go. I'm still working on the squash pumpkin. It's getting more of a shape. Kind of looks like a cauldron right now. I could make a cauldron, but I'm still working on that one. But since I got the camera all hooked up, I figured I'd show y'all, give you a visual demonstration of how this kind of works. Actually, I think I'm gonna use the whole length. This is core wool. It's a little bit fluffier and coarser than the top coat that they call it. So this is 100% real wool from a sheep that's been cleaned and processed. And I'm gonna start another blank. I'm gonna start another, I think it's gonna be a pumpkin. We'll see. But I'm gonna start another shape. It's got vegetable matter in it. It's just bits and pieces of grass and stuff. Depending on how big it is, it can be a problem. I'm gonna go through and pick out what I can see. Like I said, this comes from real sheep and you can't get everything out of it. Some types and brands of wool have more vegetable material than other ones do. It just depends on where you get it. And I keep a pair of tweezers. And I am just aiming to make a ball today, right now. So we're just gonna kind of roll this up. Yeah, these are too thick. Okay, I'm gonna have to order some 40s because I need blank 40s. But I do have a fallback. These are the 40s. I just got them bundled with a rubber band that needs to be replaced. Yeah, we'll replace it sometime soon. Yeah, or... Wow, this is going to be complicated today. That was probably a cat hair. Which, yeah, my stuff will have dog and cat hair in it, because there's dog and cat hair here. I used to prefer this, then I got hooked on the pen tool. Coming back to this is not... I like the handle on the pen tool. So as soon as I get some money, I'm going to have to order some new needles. And that will depend on who has the best price at the time. I do not have any brand loyalty. I use what I like and what works. But it's holding together. I could pull it together. I could pull it apart if I wanted to. Pretty easy. It's not really well felted yet. It's barely felted. It's squishy. But eventually it'll start looking like this. It'll get harder and more defined. Or like this. This is where I'm headed. This one is... I think he's sitting okay now. Yeah, he's sitting okay now. I had to do some work to get him to sit, but he's sitting okay now. He's waiting on a face. But this is where it all starts. This is the big bundle of core wool. This is where I start. And I'm gonna sit here and stab for a little while. I'm gonna watch some YouTube, and we'll see what we make. Those will go back to the other drawer when I get there.
designed.
I got a big enough shape. I'm gonna tear it here. Oop. Hopefully that's still where I think it is. We're gonna use that. I'm just gonna stop with this part of it. Gonna because my aim here right now is to just make a blob. My aim here right now is just to make a blob. I'm not even gonna really felt it really hard. I'm just gonna get it to hold together. And then it can go sit in the box and wait for its time. It'll get used one of these days. I'm on a pumpkin kick right now. I'm gonna go back to the other pumpkin after I do this. And I remember why I don't like this anymore. They keep spreading out like that, and I don't want them spread. Wondering if I should. I'll probably end up switching out that rubber. That's why I had the rubber bands. Now I remember. I'm gonna have to switch that rubber band out. But that's how it all starts. I'll probably stab the rest of that length of core wool into this going the other direction. But for right now, okay, I'm gonna work on this after I rubber band needles because this is driving me up a wall. And the rubber band is obviously not, it's seen better days. I don't know what it is with rubber bands, they keep breaking down. Okay. It's still stuck together. Let's get rid of this. See if I got a rubber band that won't break. Okay, this one looks good. And yeah, we're gonna start down further. Yeah. This is a do-it-yourself felting tool. It works. It's just right now I want it lower down. I want it tighter than that. That one's a little shorter. Yeah, that happens in the pen tool too. Okay. Maybe that'll hold together better. Okay, That's holding together better. I think we're going to make this a pumpkin, and we're going to make it another odd shape. We're not going to go totally round. I'm into the more squished shape right now. But it just compacts and tangles the wool. And there we go. From fluff to blob. Squishy blob. And we're going to add more fluff to squishy blob. A little more vegetable matter. I'm just going to wrap that around and smush it down. See? See? Compacted, not compacted. These are 40s. These, I think, are 36s. I don't know if you'll be able to tell a difference between the two. These are bigger, they move more wool. I can tell a difference because of the way it's going in. There's more resistance with these than with the 40s. But these will firm it up faster. A little lopsided there. Put that up a little bit. I think we're going to make him a little more squat. And I will be adding a lot more wool to this because this is going to condense down quite a bit. This is still really squishy. And I could leave it like that, but I generally tend to like my stuff a little firmer. Actually, I like my stuff a little too firm. Okay, the camera kicked off a while back and I didn't turn it back on because the battery's getting low. But I've been stabbing for about an hour and that's what we have now. We went from this to this. I'm gonna stop stabbing this right now because I gotta move on with my day and do other stuff and I'm hungry. And I'm gonna add layers. I'm gonna be adding layers, so I'm pretty much gonna leave it where it's at right now. It's not as firm as this one, and it's not as smooth. You can tell it's kind of bumpy, but it's as firm as I want it to be, adding more to it. Piece of vegetable matter in there. And this won't matter because none of this is going to show. This is all going to get covered up, way covered up. Because this is going to be a lot bigger. I'm going to work more on this one later. I want it bigger than this. It's getting there, but I still want it a little bit bigger. But this is where I'm going to leave it for now, because my battery's almost dead. Like I said, it's not as smooth or hard, except for there. I'm trying to build up the middle of it a little differently this time. I didn't get enough of a divot at the top and bottom on this one. I want more of a divot. I want it to sink in more. So, I'm trying to get that shape started. But that's, like I said, that's about an hour's worth of stabbing. This one I'll be working on over time. I can still squish it. Well, we'll have to wait and see where this one goes, because there's a lot of decisions to be made along the route, and decisions are always hard. That's it for now.